Hey guys, Ghost Peppa here. So today we're going to look at an updated Red Eye Zombies deck because we now have enough support that we can ditch the Punk engine thanks to all the new Pumpking support in TCG. These new extenders really make a difference. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to show your support. It's not in Master Duel yet, but it will be coming soon, so let's take a look. Okay, for this deck list, we're going to be running one Eldritch, the Golden Lord, one Algol Mazera, one Doom King Ballardrock, one Army of the Haunted, one Great Mammoth of the Netherworld, one Changshi, three Pumpking, the King of Grave Ghosts, three Stare of the Snakehair, one Necroworld Banshee, one Gazuki, one Mizuki, one Volcarion, three Molcharmi Fulos, three Unizombie, three Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, one Mad Mauler, one Glow Up Bloom, one Foolish Burial, one Terraforming, one Call of the Forgotten, one Triple Tactics Talent, two Ectoplasmic Fortification, one Curse of the Ancient Turtle, three Delta of Invitation, one Zombie World, one Called by the Grave, three Forbidden Droplet, and two Call of the Haunted. And then for the extra deck, we're running one Eldritch, the Mad Golden Lord, one Fallen Angel of the Golden Land, one Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord, one Red Eyes Zombie Necro Dragon, one Psy Framelord Omega, one Immortal Dragon, one Varudras, one The Undying Legion, two Pumpking, the Great Ghost King, one Pilgrim Reaper, one Yuki Onna, the Absolute Zero Mayakashi, one SP Little Knight, one Vampire Sucker, and one Flying Mary, the Wandering Ghost Ship. So this is actually pretty fun. You guys remember the previous version where I had Punk, but now that I've removed it, it's nice to see that zombies can sort of stand on its own. And it gives us a good outlet, of course, to see the only two Red Eyes Synchro cards we have, which are unusually in the zombie line, but hey, that's okay. As a Red Eyes deck, I definitely want to cover it. So this deck list is pretty tight, and it actually can summon through a lot of stuff thanks to Pumpking giving some unique effects to Call of the Haunted. So a lot of your summon capability is going to come off of Pumpking getting two level 6s on the field, which is why we have things like Pilgrim Reaper on the field, which is a two level 6 monsters. It can detach to mill the top 5 cards of each deck to the grave. So this gives you deck knowledge from your opponent, and also can trigger off some of your zombie effects in grave. But also, it gives you access to the new Xyz Pumpking, the Great Ghost King. So for this one, if you control Call of the Haunted, which you will, but the key thing is your opponent cannot target zombie monsters you control with monster effects, so it gives it some protection there. And then also, if it is special summoned, I can add a Call of the Haunted, or a card that mentions it, from deck to hand, which is quite nice. And then you can detach one material, target 2 cards on the field, and return them to hand. So say one of my Call of the Haunteds is stuck on field, I can actually use Pumpking to bounce it to hand, then I can reset it so I get some special summons from grave during my opponent's turn. I really love being able to use some of these old cards like this because it's nice to see them getting a second life. In that line of support, you have a few cards. So Pumpking is the main one. Reveal this card, set a Call of the Haunted from your deck or graveyard, and if you do, discard a card. Usually you're going to discard itself with this. And the reason why is because the Call of the Haunted that you set can be activated immediately. So when it is activated, you can of course summon back Pumpking. When it is summoned, special summon specifically, you can special summon a level 6 zombie monster from your deck, except with 1950 attack. They're just trying to make sure you don't have multiple copies of Pumpking. And it does apply a restriction, which is you cannot special summon from the hand or grave for the rest of the turn, except for zombie monsters. But keep in mind, this is a hand and a graveyard restriction, not an extra deck, so this doesn't extra deck lock you. But You have a few targets for this as a level 6, so you can bring out, of course, the tried and true Changshi get a dedicated mill out. You can also send out some of the new support, like Army of the Haunted, which if it is in your hand or graveyard, you can special summon it. But if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Call of the Haunted in your graveyard and set it. So it lets you recycle. You have Great Mammoth, which is another level 6. If it is special summoned and you control Call of the Haunted or a zombie monster, you can target a card on the field, destroy it. So this is some of your destruction in archetype, and also a zombie Xyz that has this card as material gains 1,000 attack, which is also quite nice. Also, you have access to Stare of the Snakehair. So for this one, it's a card sort of like an extender from hand, I guess. You can discard it to add a Call of the Haunted or a spell or trap that mentions it from deck to hand. And if it is special summoned, you can target an attack position monster your opponent controls. That monster cannot attack, its effects are negated, and it cannot be used for fusion, synchro, Xyz, or link summon. So out of this line of level 6s, we have a pretty good spread. We have a recursion piece in Army, we have a pop on Great Mammoth, and we have a negate and summon lock in Stare of the Snakehair. And then of the old school ones, of course, Chang-Chi lets us mill, not even mill, Foolish Burial, a card of our choice from deck to grave, which is very nice. Also, previously, Glow Up Bloom, in the Punk version, you saw me send it to try to special summon Doom King Ballardrock or maybe Algo Mazera, depending on what I want. But it was frustrating because, one, if Zombie World's not in the field zone, you can't special summon, it goes to hand. But you can't, and it also locks you from special summoning anything but zombies. But now that's not a problem. Even if you don't have Zombie World in the field zone, you can banish it to add Pumpking to hand, a level 6, and you have full combo. So Glow Up Bloom became way better after that shift. That made this deck super cohesive. Also, we still need some of that draw power because this deck is way better, but it still suffers from being able to play through everything. So of course we have Fulos in there to try to help us with that, to draw into cards if we're forced to go second. And then Forbidden Droplet just helps us with interrupting their board and also sending some of these zombies to grave as needed. Or, in the case of things like Curse of the Ancient Turtle or Delta, sending those to grave so I can get their grave effects off as needed. The rest of the monsters in this lineup, of course you guys know Algo Mazera, but it's if a card was going to be destroyed, a zombie card, you can banish it, special summon it as a level 8, or you can reduce it to a level 7 on field. This gives us a direct line into Red Eye's Zombie Necro Dragon. Doom King Ballardrock is our banish and our effect negation for a zombie, which is on field or grave if you have Zombie World on the field. And then Eldritch, we're only running at 1, but it is a good pairing with Delta of Invitation because in itself, it will send Delta to grave to special summon itself, which will then trigger Delta to come back. So there's so many ways that you can recycle Delta just by having one Eldritch. And honestly, I'm sort of on the fence with Delta. 3 is good because I do like to see it a lot. You could take it to 2 if you wanted to. If you took that to 2, I would say you want to bump Curse of the Ancient Turtle or you bump one more Ectoplasmic. But right now I'm comfortable with 3, so we'll leave it as that for this video. In the line, we also have Necrolord Banshee, which is just a quick foolish target from deck that lets us get out Zombie World. We also have Gozuki, which has its banish a card from grave, or a zombie monster from grave, special summon a zombie from hand, which is really great to get out some of our level 6s or higher. Then Mizuki, I like to run it at more than 1, but in this deck I think it's honestly fine at 1. And so if it's in grave, I can just banish its target a zombie in grave, special summon that target, which is nice. Also, Unizombie is now back to 3 in the non-punk line because it's actually a valuable normal summon. We don't have a lot of cards that we're just very comfortable with normal summoning here. Mizuki and Gozuki are fine, but Unizombie is pretty great because I can discard from hand and from deck, and I can level modulate. So it's back to 3 in this build. Mad Mauler is the card I mentioned with Algamazera, so if I summon it back as a level 7 from protecting a destruction of a zombie, and I have Mad Mauler in grave, during my turn, or after the opponent passes their turn and comes back to me, I can target Algal with Mad Mauler, reduce its level by 2, so it'll be 5. This comes out as a 2, so 5, 6, 7. Go into the Red Eyes Zombie Necro. And of course, then that resets Mazera in grave, so that way it can protect from destruction once again. Foolish Burial, no explanation needed. Terraforming is a good add here. Now keep in mind, this is a TCG list, guys, so it will change when it comes to Master Duel, and when those cards actually release, I will update that list, so be prepared for that. But since it's TCG, we do have Terraforming. Actually, let me swap this list so you guys can see the official numbers for TCG. Terraforming just lets us search one of our field spells, and we have 3 in this deck, so usually if I'm running 2, I question maybe doing it, but 3 definitely, it's worth it. Triple Tactics Talent is just helping to punch through if I get stuck on a board. I like to do this in decks that really need answers drawn. Ectoplasmic Fortification has 2 purposes. So 1, if you control no monsters, you add a level 6 zombie or Call of the Forgotten from deck to hand. So it searches out Pumpking. That's why, like I said, I could consider this one going to 3, honestly. It adds a level 6 zombie or Call of Forgotten from deck to hand, and then zombie monsters you control gain 400 attack, and you can draw cards equal to the number of Call of the Haunted you control. So if I have 2 Call of the Haunteds out, I draw 2. So it's actually like a pretty nice search and Pot of Greed. It's pretty great. Well, you activate one of these effects, not both. So buff and draw 2, or add a level 6 zombie or Call of the Forgotten. But still, very versatile, very good card. Of course, once per turn. Then I think that should pretty much explains the main deck. So for the extra deck, you'll notice we have 2 Eldritch fusions. So Eldritch fusions are really easy to get into, actually. Just Eldritch the Golden Lord and 1 zombie monster. But they're level 10s. So I can easily go into something like Fallen Angel of the Golden Land. And if it's sent from the field to the grave, I can special summon an Eldritch monster from my deck, extra deck, or graveyard. So I can special summon out Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord. Now this does, of course, let you take control of a zombie monster on your opponent's side of the field. And you can do some pretty cool stuff. Also, it's got immunity to battle or card effects, and it's a big body. But if I'm in a position where I can get Eldritch out and Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord, I can actually overlay them to directly make Varudris, which is 2 level 10 monsters. And then if your opponent activates a card or effect, I can quick effect detach a material, negate the activation, and if I wanted to, I can detach 1 more material, destroy a card on the field. It doesn't have to be the same one, I can destroy a card on the field. So quite nice, actually. And if this Xyz card is destroyed, it lets you destroy another card on the field. So it's a pretty good mix of things that you can do. So it gives us a little bit of Omni-Negate in the deck. So that's the Eldritch package. Red Eyes, of course, I had to include them. You guys probably know it, but Zombie Dragon Lord will quick effect during your opponent's turn, target a zombie in grave, except for itself, of course, special summon it. And if it's in the grave, I can banish the zombie monster I control, special summon. So it has some recursion. The other one, Zombie Necro, it gains 100 attack and defense for each zombie on the field and grave. So this sucker gets huge. It will get up into like 4,000, 5,000 attack easily, especially when you have Zombie World on the field, which makes their board and their grave also zombies. And if another zombie is destroyed by battle, then you can special summon a zombie from either grave to your field. Keep in mind, with Zombie World on the field, that means their entire grave and your entire grave is a valid target. But this effect, yes, it will go off if you destroy something with Zombie Necro, but it also will go off if you destroy something with another zombie. Or, say their board's too big, you attack with something small, it dies, another zombie was destroyed, it was yours in this case, it still will special summon. So there's some versatility there. Then I also am running Psy Framelord Omega. One, it's a good recycler. Since we have so many level 6s that are accessible alongside our level 8s, I can easily go into Psy Framelord Omega using our tuner in the deck. And I can get a hand rip if I wanted to, but I can also, if I send it to the graveyard to extend, I can target a banished card, return it to the grave. Sorry. No, that's during the standby. So during standby, I can target a banished card, return it to grave, so I can recycle some of my banished zombie cards. The other effect that I'm thinking of is the second one, which is if it's in your grave, target another card in the grave, shuffle that card and this card from the grave into the deck. So pretty good, honestly. It's the same reason way back when I used to run QB. Immortal Dragon, same kind of thing, just summon a level 6, level modulate it with our friend Mad Mauler, and you can super easily go ahead and send a zombie from deck to grave, level modulate itself. It's also a tuner. And I went through Pumpking and I went through Pilgrim Reaper, but there is another new Xyz which actually showcases Red Eyes and some of the Joey's cards, which is pretty cool. But it is made two ways. One is with 2 level 7 monsters, which is not going to happen in this deck, or at least very unlikely. But you can Xyz summon this card using a rank 6 Zombies Xyz monster and transfer its materials. So during your opponent's main phase, quick effects, you can detach 2 materials from this card, or 1 if it's all Xyz. It's not going to be, so it'll be 2. Target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls, or 1 monster in their graveyard. Attach it to this card. So this lets you have some quick effect removal from either the field or the grave to control their board a bit. Then over here in the link line, of course, Vampire Sucker is the very easy draw a card when a zombie is summoned to my field. Well, not even from my field. When a zombie monster is special summoned from either graveyard, I draw a card. But also, if I would tribute monsters for a tribute summon, I can tribute a zombie monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control them. So with Zombie World out on the field, it actually becomes a kaiju, and I can say summon Ballardrock by tributing 2 of their cards. And that's not something they can easily respond to, so it's quite nice, and people don't think about that effect. Flying Mary is just very simply, it's a disruption because it will use 2 zombies to make it. Target a level 5 or higher zombie monster that's banished from the grave, so this is another banish recovery. And then this goes into the spell trap as a continuous spell, and you special summon that monster. But while it's a continuous spell, you can target a level 5 or higher zombie monster you control, which is a lot in this deck. Destroy 1 monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to that monster. So, like I said, some removal. SP Little Knight, again, everybody knows what it does now, but it's removal, banish, protection. And then Yuki Onna is a new addition here, but it is a Link 4, and so it uses 2 or more zombie monsters, and you negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monsters. So it's actually, ironically, pretty funny into Malice because they can't use their effects. But also, if a monster is special summoned from the grave, or a monster effect is activated in the grave, not just mine, theirs, except during the damage step, you can target a face-up monster on the field, change its attack to 0, and negate its effects. That is permanent. That does not come back. And you can use this effect up to twice per turn, so my Akashi is pretty nasty to deal with. Alright guys, a bit long-winded there, but there's so many cards to go over, so let's see it in action. Okay, so it looks like here we're going to be going second. I did draw into Fulos. I have Volcarion as an extender, Eldritch the Golden Lord, Army of the Haunted, and Zombie World. So it's a okay hand. But let's go ahead with Fulos. Alright, there's that Ash Blossom. So I know we've gotten some interruption out of their hand. It's crazy. Okay, so we're playing Labrynth. It's crazy how they can play during end steps and all. We know they set Welcome. I drew into Ash, so here's Karma for them. Okay. Now, we're going to have an interesting situation here. So, Arius will let you special summon a Labrynth or set a normal trap from your hand, and Lady Labrynth cannot be destroyed by card effects or targeted while there's a set card. There isn't yet, but we also have a bit of a touchy starting hand that I'm gonna have to play around. That's okay. We should be able to do this here. 6, so yeah. Alright. Gonna special summon out, I think, Army here. And Zombie World's great, but I actually really need to get rid of some of their cards. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Eldritch here. I'm gonna send Lady Labrynth to the grave. I'm gonna use Volcarian's effect to special summon itself. And then I'm going to go ahead and Synchro Summon into Red Eye's Zombie Dragon Lord. Alright, from here, it's a limited board from the hand that we had, but we do have some things active in grave, thanks to Eldritch being there, and also we have Red Eye's Zombie Lord also in rotation. Alright, let's go ahead and go. Alright, during in phase, I'm going to go ahead and trigger this. I am going to bring out Volcarian because if I draw on a level 6, I can use Volcarian to special summon it. Alright, they use Maxi on us. Curse. I'm going to banish Ash Blossom. And I'm going to send to the grave Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom can banish, and just like I mentioned before, I can search any of these level 6 or higher cards, and Pumpking is just phenomenal. So Pumpking is, you can reveal it, set Call the Haunted from your deck or grave, and if you do, discard one card. We will do so. Set Call, discard itself. And from here, I know we are under Max C, but we need to kill them this turn to deal with it. So I'm going to go and activate Call the Haunted, summon out that Pumpking. Alright, we're at 63, Pumpking effect. We're going to summon out Changshi. 83, perfect. Alright, Ku Clock, they're going in for some effects. Big welcome, special summon, another big welcome. Lady Labrynth, she is going to pop, probably Changshi, but she may go for Red Eye's Zombie Dragon Lord. Yep, Zombie Dragon Lord, alright, fine. Changshi. So now we're going to go ahead and prep for some follow-up. So I can send Mad Mauler, and Mad Mauler can let me get into an 8. But I don't know if that one's optimal right here. Mizuki would likely be the better strat because it would let me bring out my Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord a lot easier. And Baller Drock is nice if I have a field spell, which currently I do not. Okay, we're going to send Mizuki here. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and go into Pumpking. So, with Pumpking out on the field, using Pumpking and Changshi, that Call of the Haunted is giving us an additional effect. Now keep in mind, we're having to play around this, and we're making them draw a few cards because they did reduce our damage below 8,000. So Pumpking is, when it is special summoned, I can add Call of the Haunted or a card that mentions it from deck to hand. We'll do so now. And I have I have many options, but here, Call of the Haunted, I can set up to 3 Call of the Haunted from the deck. And it will lock me into special summoning nothing except for zombie monsters or monsters from the graveyard. Or I can go into Ectoplasmic Fortification, zombies get a buff, and then I draw cards. That's what we need here, so we're going to do that. I also, now that Call the Haunted is on the field, if I control Call the Haunted, Army of the Haunted allows me to special summon it back. Alright. 6,400. We have so many plays here. Alright. We're going to go ahead and use Pumpking's effect here. I'm going to detach Changxi. And I'm going to return to the hand Lovely Labrynth. And Welcome. They can reset those right back where they belong. Now we're going to use Ectoplasmic Fortification. Alright, they use Ash on that. That's fine. I know I can't be Ash now for the rest of the turn. So I need to continue to get enough damage on field to kill them. So we're going to go ahead and use Eldritch, the Golden Lord, send Call the Haunted, special summon Eldritch, the Golden Lord, to the field. And from here, we have plenty of damage on board. I could, of course, summon out Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord back to the field, and I could continue to extend, but we don't want to push the luck in zombies against a Max C ridden deck, so we're going to go ahead and go for game. Okay, so here we're going first. I have Unizombie, I have Changxi, Eldritch, Forbidden Droplet, and Called by the Grave. So we're going to go ahead and start with Unizombie. Unizombie effect, we're going to target a monster on the field and send a zombie from deck to graveyard. Targeting itself, we're going to send Glow Up Bloom here. Glow Up Bloom is going to reverse search us into Pumpking. So this is what I meant by Glow Up Bloom becoming so much better. Alright. Set Call the Haunted. We're going to send, of course, our Pumpkin to the grave. Call the Haunted. Pumpkin effect. We're going to special summon out Army just so we have it in rotation. And then from here, trying to think which one would be better. We're gonna do Pumpkin. Pumpkin effect. We're gonna add to our hand Snake Hair. Snake Hair effect. Ectoplasmic. Ectoplasmic. Draw. And boost, of course. Alright, from here, let's do this. So I'm going to go ahead and send Eldritch to the grave. Eldritch effect. Send Call the Haunted. Special summon a zombie, so we're going to special summon Changxi here. Changxi effect. We're going to send Necroward Banshee to the grave. And then from here, pretty chill with that, actually. I'm gonna go ahead and make Vampire Sucker using Changxi and Unizombie. Let's see. It's not bad. Alright. Set. And we'll make the Undying Legion using Pumpkin here. Okay. It's decent enough for this. Alright. Pot of Prosperity. It's fine. Alright, they're playing Exosisters. Alright, Stella. And so Stella, it'll, of course, you know, special summon another copy. There it goes. They're going to Exis, which that is the one that I'm interested in stopping. So Undying Legion is going to eat it. And we're going to detach Pumpkin and Army. Army, since it went to grave, will then take a Call the Haunted and set it to the field. So we have follow-up. Okay, that worked out pretty great for us. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and use that Call the Haunted. I'm going to use it on Pumpkin. Vampire Sucker saw it, so it's going to draw a card. Pumpkin is now going to special summon on its special summon. We're going to summon out Great Mammoth. Great Mammoth effect, because we're going to pop that back row that we don't want to see. Yep, okay, it was Exosister Returnia. Alright, Army of the Haunted can special summon from the grave here. And now, I need to get access to some of my other field spells, but I only run one zombie world, so I don't want to just pitch that. So, what I'm going to have to do is go into Pumpkin, using, say, Pumpkin here and Great Mammoth. That way I can recycle some of our cards. So I'm going to go ahead and add to hand here. Let's do a Stare. And then I'm going to go ahead and I think draw is going to be the best target here. Yeah, we're going to draw. Yep. Big buff. Pumpkin effect. We're going to detach Great Mammoth so it's in line. Alright, Zombie World and Call the Haunted here. Bounce them back. Now, Delta of Invitation. Send a card to grave. We're going to send Doom King Baller Drag. Alright, summon out a Delta token. And we'll set that Call of Haunted for later. We still haven't normal summoned. We're going to go ahead and use Stare of the Snake here. We're going to add another Call the Haunted from deck to hand. We're going to use that Gozuki here. Gozuki effect. We're going to send Mad Mauler to grave. And now, I need to start extending a bit. So I'm going to use that Vampire Sucker. And I'm going to use some of these other cards to go into our Yuki-Onna. But first, no, we'll do that. All right. Yes, yes, and honestly, I think Pumpkin's got to go here. Yeah, we're gonna do Pumpkin. Done. All right, there we go. Gozuki will trigger here. It will banish a card from grave, so we're gonna go ahead and banish Changshi. It will special summon itself to the field. Changshi saw this, so it is going to banish a card and special summon once again. So here, we're going to go ahead and banish, let's see, probably one of our Stares. Yeah, one of our Stares got to go. Okay. Changshi. Just in case they have some stuff to mess with us, we'll send Mazera to grave. Alright. Fallen Angel, so we'll go Eldritch. Special summon. Alright, from here, we need to go ahead and let's do Flying Mary. I'm trying to navigate this board pretty sensitively. Fallen Angel. We're gonna special summon Eldritch, the Mad Golden Lord. Flying Mary. We are going to special summon Eldritch, the Golden Lord. Set itself down below. Notice all the Yuki-Onna optional effects. Alright, we're gonna make Varudras here. Get us a negate. Then I'm going to go ahead and use Mad Mauler on Army. Summon it back out. Then we're going to make Red Eyes Zombie Necro. Nice and beefy over there. And we're looking pretty good at this point. So we're going to go ahead and Activate Zombie World. Buffing Red Eye Zombie Necro even further. We'll set that Call the Haunted for follow-up, and we are cooking with gas. So Varudris is, if it attacks while it has material, you can destroy a card on the field. Don't need to, but if they had one, it would pop one here. And Zombie Necro for the game. I think that the new Pumpking support really does affect how we play, and allows us to play through quite a bit. There's still a chance at some bricking, as is the case with any kind of zombie variant, but it is really fun to play. I will definitely do some more gameplay once it comes to Master Duel, but I wanted to go ahead and get this deck list out there so you guys can start trying it in TCG. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.